In this video, I'm going to be breaking down when a man enters his physical prime, whether it's in his 20s, 30s, or 40s, and how do we know that whether we're in our prime or we're exiting our prime, and what can we do to stay in our prime. A lot of you men are aware of this chart that's been floating around for a while now, detailing what age the man is going to enter and exit the prime versus what age a woman is going to enter and exit the prime. Now, although this chart may depict that a woman is going to peak at her prime around age 20 and fall out of her prime at 30, the fact that it shows that men peak at 40 is a bit off. Okay, so that's a little bit late for a peak of a man because most men at that age are actually past their physical and their looks prime, and lying to men and telling them that they have until 40 to go uphill in their looks and physical prime is just setting them up for failure, and telling women that their prime is going to end at 20 when it can go to about 30 is also a lie. Because when you're tracking the prime of someone, you're really looking at ages 20 to 50. These 3 decades are going to show you how significant your changes are. So we're going to look at age 20 to 50. Now here's a graph about showing women from age 20 to 50. So when you look at it, the 20-year-old woman, you'll see that she's youthful looking, full set of hair, glowing skin, and an uplifted face. And then on her counterpart, 30 years later, the 50-year-old has aged a lot, sagging skin, unclear skin, thinner eyebrows, more lines on the face, and obviously a lot older in 3 decades. Men are more or less going to follow a similar pattern from ages 20 to 50. That's when they're going to have the most amount of changes in their physical prime and their looks prime. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Ages 20 to 50 of a man are when he's going to go through the most physical changes, and we're going to track when he actually is hitting his prime. Like you saw the chart for women, here's a chart for men. So you can see early in their 20s how they are, and then in the 3 decades up until 50 how they age. So generally, like similar to the woman, they'll have youthful skin, good hair, no lines, and a glow to their face. And then as they get older, they're going to obviously have worse teeth, worse eyes, sagging skin, and lesser hair. Now, recalling the chart from before where it showed that men peaked at age 40, that is a flat-out lie. All right, you cannot tell me that in these 2 examples that the man actually peaks at 41 to 50. In fact, the 31 to 40 bracket is a lot more better looking and physically in fit and shape and healthier looking than the 41 to 50. You can see the 41 to 50 has aged a lot. To our question, when exactly is a man's prime? When is he going to be his best self? Now, a thing that can help us answer that question very well is looking at an athlete's prime. So in this chart, you have a list of different types of footballers and at what age do they excel in their role at. So when we look at the chart, you see that the trend is usually from mid-20s to about early 30s. All right, that's when they're going to be in their athletic peak. So just like an athlete is in his peak athletically, that's when he's the most physically fit. That's when he is the best looking because he's very active and he still has that youthful age in front of him, right? And referring to the chart before, the 31 to 40 graph, he's still in that solid bracket. Also, a reason why a man wouldn't be in his prime in his early 20s is because he's still trying to figure out his fashion sense, what to wear. His muscle mass hasn't come in yet, so the clothes are going to look baggier on him and they're not going to fit him well. All right, he's also trying to find out which hairstyle that he wants to use and wear along with his face shape. So he's not going to know how to dress and how to groom and how to have a good hairstyle properly just yet in his early 20s. This is going to take some years of experience for him. Furthermore, the man will not receive all of his muscle mass until between ages 30 to 39. Okay, the more years that he's done training, he's going to increase his muscle mass and pack on more weight. This is going to help him fill out his clothes, give him a good frame, make his facial muscles stronger, and just make him overall better looking. as chart here shows. Hence, again, why the man will start to peak closer to 30 rather than 20. Now, there are plenty of men that do mention that they did not hit their prime until their 40s and even in their 50s. But more or less, when they're talking about that, they're usually referring to their self confidence, their success, and their career. They're not specifically referring to their youthfulness and their looks and their physicality. All right. Testosterone starts to dip 1% each year after age 30. Your skin starts sagging a little bit more after your mid 30s. You start losing collagen on your skin. So your skin will get thinner and thinner. And then when that happens, there will be more lines on your face. Hence, you'll have lines on your face, a little bit of sagging skin. Also, you'll be making a few more trips to the doctor and the dentist to maintain it. So after 35, you are going to be spending more time reversing and also recovering what you had in your earlier youthful years, the health, free problems, and the better skin and the better endurance. You're going to be spending time after 35 recovering and trying to get that back. So there is no physical prime after 35. Now you can still elongate your prime and have a good 40s and a good 50s. But the key here is if you're a man that has passed your prime and you're over 35, the key here is not to compete with younger men, but to be the best in your own weight class. You have to be the prime in your age bracket, and that's how you're going to set yourself apart. You should focus on being the best in your own age bracket, being better than the other 40-something-year-olds and having a flat stomach, better body, and having people say, oh man, that dude looks really good for his own age bracket. He really takes care of himself. Think of your own prime like in professional athletes' prime, right? They're going to peak in their 30s due to experience, muscle mass coming in, knowing technique, and figuring out what works best for them. This is when they're at their best. And then once you pass the 30s and you're in your 40s and 50s, worry about being the best in your own weight class, being better looking and more fit 40-year-old than the rest of the 40-year-olds that are paunchy with a fat stomach and not taking care of themselves. This is how you stay classy and elongate your prime, but also don't look like you're trying to compete with a 20-year-old when you're age 40, because you're only worried about how you're looking compared to the other people in your own age class, not worried about what you look like half a decade ago or 2 decades ago. In conclusion, the 3 things that are going to help a man peak in his prime between ages of 30 to 39 are his dressing sense and style that he's accrued over years of experience, knowing what beard style, facial hairstyle, and hairstyle fits the best on him and looks the best on him, and then his muscle mass coming in fully and being not drooping or sagging or having a lot of lines in his 30s because he's put time in the gym and he's also taking care of his body. So when all of these things come together, that's when a man's physical prime hits. A man's physical prime can be anywhere between the age of 28 to 39 if he's done the proper things. After 39, you don't need to worry about competing with your 30-year-old self. You just need to worry about being the best 41-year-old that's out there compared to other 41-year-olds, being in shape, being in peak, knowing how to dress well, because the competition will get a lot slimmer. Because after 40, not a lot of men are taking care of their looks and they have dad bods and they're just have given up. But this is where you can separate yourself even more if you put in the work. Thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.